About a Boy is a film that is good on so many levels. I will say, though, that I don't love this film as much as I know some people do. For some people, this film is, incredible, and it really adheres to all of the things that they love in a film. For me, it ticks most boxes. It's just not the most perfect thing ever, but it's still great. It was released in 2002, directed by Chris and Paul Weitz, and is written by Peter Hedges, based on the novel by Nick Hornby. I have not read the novel. If you think the novel is worth reading, let me know. Certainly, if the Hornby novel, I expect it'll be quite engaging. Maybe I'll compare it to the film at some point. But for now, I'm happy to have just seen the film. And I guess the reason I wanted to see this initially was because A, everybody said it was great, and B, Hugh Grant. But the narrative itself is also really great. So the description from IMDb sums it up really well. It says, a cynical, immature young man is taught how to act like a grown-up by a little boy. And the tagline for I particularly like the tagline for this. This is, growing up has nothing to do with age, which is so true. And basically we have this young boy called Marcus Brewer. He's played by Nicholas Hoult, and he ends up meeting Will, played by Hugh Grant, when he decides to start dating his mother. Will is not exactly the most considerate when it comes to the women he dates. He's very immature about it, and he meets Marcus and realises that Marcus actually has this different outlook on life. He kind of has to have this more positive outlook because of his mother's depression and just general state of mind. And they begin to form this friendship, and suddenly Will is learning really important lessons, actually, from this young 12-year-old boy. Obviously, there are a lot of really strong morals in this about, first of all, not treating people like you're an immature child, but also learning to appreciate a lot of smaller things in life and learning to look at the bigger picture and not just thinking of yourself and being a child, and also being able to live in the moment but also live progressively in the future as well. I think there's a lot of things going on here, and I bet there are a lot of kind of analytical essays and more in-depth reviews of this, which is something I'd quite like to read, actually. So if anybody knows of any or has written any, do let me know. Obviously, it's very well acted. Toni Collette is Marcus's mother. I think the casting across the board is really engaging. The actors on screen are fun to watch, but they're also very well cast. I think, the chemistry on screen between them, but particularly with Hugh Grant and Nicholas Hoult, I think the casting there is absolutely splendid, and there isn't really anything about it that I would have cast differently. It's not my favourite Hugh Grant film. Granted, there are a lot of Hugh Grant films that are great, but this one, it's sweet, it's well-paced, it's funny when it needs to be, it's more serious when it needs to be. It ticks every box. It's got a little something in it for everybody, and for me personally, there's quite a bit in there for me that I enjoyed. As I said, it's not my favourite film ever. It's not my favourite Hugh Grant film, but I would watch it again, and I certainly recommend it.